Hello and welcome to another episode of What's Inside. Today we are looking at a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mega Bloks set. This is from the Collector Series. It says metal on it, so I don't know if the figure's metal or what that means. But this is part of some kind of Collector Series, and it's supposed to be pretty cool. Some kids were raving about it at the store. So I thought, well, I'll pick one up and see what it looks like. But it's got 38 pieces. It's aimed to ages 10 and up. And I qualify for that. So this is the Leonardo set. Let's open this up and see what's in here. Now it's just sealed with a couple pieces of tape, so you'll have to be a little careful not to damage the packaging when you take it out. These packages are notoriously destructible. They're kind of a weird set. So let's see what we got here. We got like some plastic piping. There's our rule book, or instruction book, rule book, jeez. There's our guy. And the packaging is, got stuff jammed away down in here. Alright. That was really wedged in there. This is a giant package with multiple packages in it. That's lovely. So, package is empty, put that to the side. Let's open this up, see what we got in here. Mega Bloks is usually pretty good about having a perforated seam on here, so it's easy to open these. We've got a bunch of little stuff in this one and some like character specific stuff here, it looks like. So let's get all this on the table and then we'll look at the instructions. Oh yeah, that's some real tiny bits too. Alright, so a bunch of little stuff that'll get lost. Alright, and this is a fold out instruction sheet. Fairly large actually. Let's see which one. It's got the assembly instructions for the actual turtle, so he does come apart. Then we've got how to set him up and assemble him. I would have liked this as a little booklet rather than a fold out, but you can't win everything. But the coloring is really nice. So I'll give them credit for that. And apparently you can get all the sets and they link together in like a diorama. So these would actually make pretty cool display pieces. And then there's a parts list at the top, which is really cool. I really like that. So if you lose a part, you know which specific code number to look up when you're trying to track it down. Including Leonardo and his sword and that weird piping. So that's really cool. I like that. Mega Bloks is a good company. They've gotten a lot better. They're not just some knockoff Lego company. They're actually pretty competitive now. And these green blocks are actually fairly bright and slightly transparent. So it gives it kind of the ooze look, which I really like that. A couple standard pieces here. We've got an action shot of Leonardo fighting like the Krang robot, which is pretty cool. It looks like these go on the piping. So like, see if I can do this without breaking anything. Yeah, so it actually like displays it like a picture when you stand it up, which is really cool. That's actually a pretty smart gimmick. So it actually does look like a diorama then. But a diorama you can play with. So you've got these two pieces are the ones I'd worry about the most because they probably could get scratched reasonably easily by bouncing around inside of a big box full of the pieces. And if they're missing, it's going to be difficult to replace those. These would be a lot easier to replace than these. So there's a bunch of little bits, including a throwing star and a couple of like a steering wheel or valve release and the actual piece there. So the pieces there's not a lot to it. And this was like a $10 thing, I think, originally. I got it on sale for, I think, $6. So, but I'm thinking it was $10 originally. So let's get Leonardo out here, if I can, without destroying everything. Oh, he's really wedged in here. Okay. Yeah, his shell is metal. That's it. The rest is plastic. But it is pretty nice plastic. Yeah, this is one of the better Mega Bloks ones I've ever seen. Don't like that this is soft plastic on the mask and his armbands and knee protectors, and even his belt. It's very soft, cheap vinyl plastic. That's gonna break. I would have preferred it was actually molded to the character, like hard plastic, because then it wouldn't break. Maybe just have like this waistband thing if you want to take the shell off. I would actually prefer these didn't come apart and they were more like regular action figures, because when I would play with these type of toys as a kid, the limbs would come off while you're playing, and that's annoying because you got to put it back on, and then you could go back to beating up on Zartan or something. My turtles always teamed up with G.I. Joe. So, but the Turtles thing was near the end of my childhood. But the swords are nice. These are real nice. These are actually action figure quality, I would say. So this is like a weird hybrid set where the figure is actually really good quality. My main complaint would be the bands, because they do feel like distinctly different plastic, and they feel like a distinctly cheaper plastic. So I'd prefer those had been molded on. Otherwise, aside from the limbs coming off, this is a really solid figure. It's one of the nicer ones I've ever seen, actually, especially for Mega Bloks. But the metal shell is a cool addition. That doesn't bother me. It's a real nice figure. Real nice figure. The shell does make him a little back heavy though, so you gotta lean him forward a bit to get him to stand up. The Mega Bloks themselves are actually, they're okay. They're not Lego, but they're fairly close. I don't have a problem with them. They used to be a lot cheaper than they are, but they tend to have kind of sharp corners, I think. But the little bits and pieces are nice. The little image cards, I really like those. Those are cool. Got a real cool look to it. The little sewer lid thing that he would stand on looks really cool. Definitely keeps him standing up better. Great display piece. Overall, I would say this is more of a display piece than a toy, but as a figure, Leonardo looks awesome. Looks like he does on the cartoon. Real nicely put together figure, good feel to it. I just don't like the little rubber band things. I would have preferred that was molded with the same type of plastic that his body's made out of, and just make it a permanent part of him, instead of something that could accidentally break off or wear out, because it feels like a rubber band. So the instruction sheet's pretty well put together. I would prefer a booklet, but the fold-out sheet's not bad. It's good quality paper overall. So yeah, as far as playsets go, the more you spend on these tends to be the better quality product, sadly. So there's not much to this, which is super disappointing. It would have been nice to have some bigger pieces, maybe a few more blocks. You're really paying for the action figure. And quite honestly, for what they're charging for these, you probably could have just bought a regular action figure instead of a lame Mega Bloks set with barely any blocks. It's kind of insulting to put Mega Bloks on there when there's half a dozen actual blocks. So it's more bits and pieces than anything else. There's not that much to it otherwise. And they count the limbs on him, I think, as pieces. So the figure's nicely done. Everything else is a little sparse. These are really cool, but yeah, overall, I'm not disappointed with my purchase. If I'd paid full price, I would probably be a lot more insulted by it. But overall, the figure was really cool, and that does make up for some of the other parts. I think that you would have to get them all so that you could have these kind of quality. The blind bag ones are definite steps down from this. This is a very nice plastic mold of Leonardo, where some of the blind bag ones were just cheap and garbage. So Mega Bloks is still pretty varied, and but the more you spend on it, the more likely you are to get something passable The mid-range sets are probably better off. You're probably going off with the Mega Constructs that just came out. That's probably a better investment at this point than some of these others. But overall, I don't feel bad about it as an adult collector because I would just display this. I'm actually going to give this away to one of my friend's kids. And he'll like it quite a bit. But yeah, if I was a kid, I'd be a little disappointed that there's not more blocks to build with. The figure's really cool though. Great display thing for an adult collector, but I don't know about a kid. So I'd be a little torn. I'd probably just buy some cheaper sets and buy more of them. Or just buy a regular action figure instead. But as far as turtle stuff goes, I've seen worse. But that'll do it for this episode. We've seen what's in the box. Don't be deceived by the metal packaging. It's literally just the shell that's metal. Everything else is plastic. It's not bad plastic, it's just plastic. But thank you as always for watching and supporting the channel. And we hope to see you on the next episode of What's Inside.